Joining us right now is Mr. Boaz Bismuth, who is an Israeli member of parliament. Mr. Bismuth, thank you so much for speaking with India Today. My first question to you, of course, is that Israel claims that it didn't do it. The attack was not via Israel. Israel was not behind the attack. But didn't the attack happen at all?
You're talking about the hospital attack, and I would say one thing, and maybe I will challenge you by asking a very easy question that everybody knows the answer. Terrorists, usually in Gaza, terrorists usually, or also, civilians, where do they hide? They hide in hospitals. You know why they hide in hospitals? Because they know we don't attack hospitals. So this myth, on the contrary, all this attack, you learn a few things from this attack. First of all, you see Palestinian propaganda. For them, immediately Israel is accused. But then everybody understands that it's not Israel, but propaganda is working, of course. Then the second thing that you see is Palestinians really don't care about life itself. Why? Because a few days before, they slaughtered our babies, and then they kill their own children. So you see, this is what you learn. This is what you learn from this attack, this missile or rocket launched by mistake over the hospital.
So you're saying the terrorists are hiding in hospitals. Does that mean that you're justifying the attack?
Did I say that I justify hospitals? Of course I don't justify. I am someone who justifies life. I am someone who's against war, against killing. I mean, on the contrary, do you think I justify anything that deals with death? On the contrary, let me only remind you that you're now interviewing a member of parliament where his country was attacked and his kids were slaughtered. Huh? Women were abused. This is what we're talking. So I see that you put the emphasis on the atrocity taking place by Gaza. And by the way, responsible for that is Hamas, controlling the city by itself, the region. And of course, the Islamic Jihad, who launched this missile.
So has the death toll been inflated to create a humanitarian crisis?
I would say again, the events, the horrific events that took place in the south of Israel, not less than 2 weeks, only to remind you that there are kids that were not yet buried, not yet identified. But if you want to speak more, to put emphasis on the hospital in Gaza, I say it again. In Gaza, people go, including terrorists, they go and hide in hospitals because it will never come to our minds in Israel to attack hospitals or civilians.
So my final question to you is, how is Israel going to ensure the safe return of hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza?
I'm very pleased that you mentioned the hostage crisis because, this is something that you must understand. It's an issue where all the international community has to put pressure with Israel in order to release those three people who, not only Israelis, you've got also other civilians over there, American civilians, French civilians, Romanian civilians, who were hijacked back to a territory, including a 9-month baby, including an 85-year-old Holocaust survivor. So what are we going? I would say one thing. Our target, our aim in this war, because it's not an operation, it's a war to bring them back home.
Mr. Bismuth, thank you so much for speaking with India Today. So that was Boaz Bismuth, Israeli member of parliament, of course, putting the Israeli perspective forward. So that, of course, is the Israeli perspective. Remember that as the war between Israel and Hamas continues to escalate, it's been over 14 days now. It's a Jewish country now that is staring at a two-front war.